Hello and welcome back to Talking Through Your Kick. No better way to talk if you're a punter than through your hip pocket. And of course brought to you by Cinebet.com and puntersparadise.com.au. There's some forum topics on there about racing issues if you'd like to get on there to puntersparadise.com.au, and we'll bring up a few of those topics later in the show. One of the racing topics that's been bandied around particularly the last few weeks, talking about ratings and talking about horses in Europe. They all get time form ratings or ratings. How important, Brent, are ratings when you're punting?
Well, in terms of punting, I don't think a time form rating, especially in Australian racing, I don't think it's that common across here. If you go to Europe and America, you see a lot of time form ratings. They actually produce their own form guides and whatnot like that. But in Australia, I think if you're going to use ratings, you're using your own form and opinion on a market, and then you sort of rate them against what the market's on offer, back whatever's on the overs, leave away the unders and go from there.
Ratings are just an opinion, Michael?
Yeah, absolutely, Rich, and everyone's got one, that famous saying, and I know you've got quite a few opinions about a lot of things, but when it comes to having a punt, especially like if you're taking on the bookmaker like us at Cinebet, obviously we do our ratings and that's what the market is. So you determine whether you think our ratings are right or wrong, and that's where you can find the value of what you want to have a punt on. And then you've got the handicapper ratings as well, which determines the weights in races, which if you've got a horse coming from the country into city, you might have what they call a rating 68 taking on a ratings 80. So it all depends from the punter at home who does the form up against what the handicapper says and what they carry in a race to what the market says and those ratings. What do you do, Nick?
Well, you've just got to be your own judge. Brent, I don't like agreeing with him, but he made a very good point. You've got to stick to your guns, and if you don't have an opinion and you want to follow someone, you pick someone out and you stick with them. You might be following Richie or Brent in Sydney, you might be following Sam Hyland from the Mountain Yard, but you do it all day. You can't jump back and forth because all you're going to do is give up winners doing that.
Well, unfortunately, if they were following Nick and Michael, they wouldn't be watching because they haven't got any TVs anymore. They've probably sold them. Brent and people following us, Brent, they're currently holidaying in the Caribbean. Rightio, let's have a look at one of the other topics. Gee, I was waiting for an interruption there from the boys. What about the topics, Brent? What about this line here? More joyous will be ... on Cox Plate Day.
She'll certainly be at Moonee Valley. I don't know if she can win the Cox Plate, but she'll be right in the mix. I'll have her running third.
Running third? What's running 1 and 2?
Well, I think Atlantic Jewel's going to be certainly hard to beat, and she can stretch out to the 2,000 metres. She's going to be fantastic. This is more joyous at a peak in the Queen Elizabeth Stakes, but on this day, you have to give a complete slap to the remainder of the jockeys in behind her, because Nasrullah got away with murder. He went straight to the front, stacked them up, slow pace, kicked away, and was way too strong.
I agree. I think there's only 3 hopes looking at this far out from the Cox Plate, and unfortunately for me, Michael, they're all girls: Atlantic Jewel, More Joyous and Machine. Your thoughts on More Joyous come Cox Plate Day?
Yeah, I think she'll be asking which way Atlantic Jewel went. I don't think there's any hope in hell that she can beat Atlantic Jewel. And she is a champion. Let's get that straight, More Joyous. I just don't like her over a strong 2040, which you need in a Cox Plate. We've seen her there in the past and she got found out. I know Singo's talking about Melbourne Cups, which I can't see, but they might know the horse better than me. But I think he's coming up against, she is coming up against an absolute superstar in Atlantic Jewel. If she's 100% right on Cox Plate Day, Quinny, I don't think anything will beat her.
No, it'll be very exciting to see her go around, Moonee Valley on Cox Plate Day, Atlantic Jewel. But having said that, More Joyous, I think she surprised even her biggest fans last campaign. I think there was a few people thought she might have been at the end of her tether last Spring Carnival when she was well beaten at Flemington, but she resumed and just went from strength to strength. So if she can maintain that form, there's no reason why she certainly can't, run in the top 3 in the Cox Plate.
You're a parochial Sydney sider, Richie. You give her any hope of beating Atlantic Jewel around the valley?
Oh, most definitely. There's no doubt about that. She's done it. She's been there and she's beaten the best. I'm not trying to talk Atlantic Jewel down. I think she's one of our shining lights and could be a superstar. But she's been Ladies Angel. That's it. So I'll say it again for you. Ladies Angel. Ladies Angel's is a Saturday type race, and she beat her. Like, I think you're getting carried away.
She beat a horse called Machine quite easily every time she beat her as well.
I agree, and you've heard Robert Smurden say that, but I'm saying they're the 3 hopes. You're talking More Joyous down. Oh, geez, I tell you what, she'll be right into up to her ears, and I don't know whether Atlantic Jewel on that would have started favourite or beaten the horses Menegara Americane that More Joyous toyed with. Let's say it. Toyed with at Randwick over the carnival. Let's go back and have a look at More Joyous in the Cox Plate. And I've been on record saying 100 times, I think a few of these jockeys here in this race, they rode for 2nd, 3rd and 4th. The only horse in this race, More Joyous and Zipping, they were the only 2 horses in this race that gave themselves a chance of beating So You Think. You take So You Think out of the race, More Joyous and Zipping run 1-2. Who Begot You finishes 9th.
Yeah, it was a fantastic effort by Nasrilla. He, like you mentioned, Rich, he went out there to beat So You Think on this occasion and poured on the pressure, set up the race. It made for a fantastic contest. The mare, you can see there, she compounded over the last 100 metres, but
she done.
Yeah, completely agree. She'd done so much work, and it put on the spectacle and proved how good So You Think was on the day.
Oh, most definitely. He was dominant when he was at his best. And we even got a tweet from Morejoy. That's how talented. I haven't seen Atlantic Jewel or Machine tweeting yet. I've been out Strawberry Hill Farm and saw Morejoy on the phone. Loving being back with Lady Trainer Gay Waterhouse at Royal Randwick. Shiny Cox plates on the shopping list this spring. Hashtag watch out, no doubt. And I was just going to say, can I throw another topic in here, Michael? I'm talking about three girls. Is it more like the home life as well? Women seem to be dominating the men a lot of places now.
Especially in my household, we've just had a baby daughter called Madison, so I'm well and truly outvoted in the Felgate household. But I think that's been since day dot. I think if the boys know what's good for them, you just say yes to the boss. Isn't that right, Rich?
Oh, I was only saying Adolf Hitler before I left home this morning. Sorry, to my wife this morning before I left home. Let's have a look at this a far-ranging tip for the spring, Brent. What's a horse you can follow?
I'm going to look towards Pampelona, horse that from the Tim Martin stable. Won the Gosford Guineas and the Scone Guineas in most impressive fashion. And you go back 12 months ago and we had a horse called Sincero doing exactly the same thing. If he can take that next step, Pampelone, I think he's going to be certainly a star in the spring.
I agree with... we're going to go to the boys in Melbourne. I agree with you, Michael. I think Nick's been on the Tamaki. All too hard. I think he could be a star.
He's a superstar in the making, isn't he? What he did down in Melbourne and up in Sydney, we got his colours lowered in his last start, but I think he was just over the top there. And talking to the Hawks boys, of course, this is another brother to Black Caviar. They're very excited. One of the best they've had, they said. So come Caulfield Guineas, and who knows, if he flies in the Caulfield Guineas, he could be a 3-year-old in the Cox Plate.
Of course, they'll all be up here for the Borderley Wines Golden Rose first. The huge money on offer, and I know that's where a lot of the Melbourne 3-year-olds, the top draw anyway, are looking for. Nick, it's a billionaire. That Adelaide form always stands up.
Well, you say that. I know you're taking the mickey, but don't forget Mummified did win the South Australian Derby, and there's been plenty of horses that have gone on to bigger and better things.
How long are you going back?
That's all right. He was a champion.
And the last one was Sub-Zero, who's now a clerk of the course.
That's all right. It's a billionaire, though. He took a while for the penny to drop. He didn't win till start number 8, but as soon as he did start winning, he's still learning what it's all about. I can see him going to the Caulfield Cup about third up this time. $51 with our friends at Centrebet. Definitely have some milk money on that. And the other one's Linton. Now with John Sadler, has had one start for one win for the new stable, and I think he could win a really nice race like the McKinnon Stakes or something come carnival time.
I remember the billionaire Richie taking $1.40 one day at Moonee Valley, and he got done.
$51, you're getting touched. I think you need a lot more than that. Linton, I'll let you go on that. I think it can certainly win a good race. Rightio, we're on Talkin Thru Your Kick. We're about to go to break number 2. Don't forget, if you want to talk to us on the forum, puntersparadise.com.au. Plenty of topics there. We're going to come back very shortly and talk about a few of those topics, and of course brought to you by centrebet.com. Back on the other side of this break, Talkin Thru Your Kick.